Hello, this is TV1 back again with another video. This time is the Monday Night Raw series of my retro series reviews, and this time we're going to do Monday Night Raw for the 18th of January to that 1993, and this was the Sunday after this would be, of course, the Royal Rumble, the famous 1993 Royal Rumble. Right, let's start off and talk about the show. Okay, our first match of the night. Well, before that, we got a bit of a scene where the commentators obviously introduced themselves. Randy Savage was there, of course, and the Repo Man, a villain in the WWE, very hokey gimmick as well, went out and attacked Randy Savage, running away, and they sort of... Randy Savage, the story throughout the show was he went out looking for the Repo Man. Anyway, they continue on with the show, and they start with the first match, which is Terrific Terry Taylor versus Mr. Perfect. A pretty great match, I think, in my opinion. A pretty good match. I would say it was a nice, technical, fair fight. There was a lot of offense on both men's sides. It was definitely a very offense-style match. The technical wrestling you can expect from Mr. Perfect was definitely present in this match, and it felt exciting. And it was a pretty long match, and it went on, and then we got to see Ric Flair come out and disrupt while the referee was sort of messing with Taylor. He brought Mr. Perfect outside. Mr. Rick does the usual Ric Flair chops and stuff, attacks him, brings him back into the ring. Then Terry Taylor goes for a suplex, but gets reversed into a fisherman suplex or a perfect plex by Mr. Perfect, making him strong with the win there. 1, 2, 3, it's over. Mr. Perfect looked great there, and then of course he started to develop a feud. I don't know if this was on before this Raw, but the feud develops between him and Ric Flair, and he goes out, looking for Ric Flair or whatever. Anyway, our second match was between Marty Jannetty, who would be going after Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental Championship in Royal Rumble this Sunday. He goes one-on-one with some jobber I'm not sure on. He was there sort of before the break, and then we went back, and then Marty Jannetty obviously came out with his entrance. Very, very crowd positive there to Marty Jannetty. Obviously he was the face. Shawn Michaels was the heel at this time after the Rockers split up. We all know how that happened. And yeah, of course Marty Jannetty wins this. It went pretty well. Yeah, he did a good job there, and he did some weird leg dropping thing to finish the match off. They also were talking to Bret Hart. Who were they talking to? Shawn Michaels was on the phone, and they were sort of discussing whose side Sherry would be on. Shawn Michaels, a very good character, and indeed it did lead to a bit of intrigue. And I'm wondering who will come out victorious for the Intercontinental Championship at Royal Rumble. My opinion goes towards Shawn Michaels could defend that title. Sherry could go on his side, and they could be heel faction against Marty Jannetty. That's my opinion. I haven't really seen any of this before. Comment below what you think. Obviously, if you know the answer, please don't comment below. But yeah, we'll get to that Royal Rumble, which will be our next review, and it'll be a pay-per-view. Very nice. Yeah. So Shawn Michaels was just sort of talked to them on the phone. He was going to be very heelish, didn't go face to face with Marty Jannetty during his match. Marty Jannetty wins that one. No surprise really, and then we cut to the Royal Rumble sort of preview. I think then we got an interview with Bret Hart, who came out as a WWE champion. Very cool, and yeah, he was just talking about who he would face. Obviously, he's facing Razor Ramon. He's saying that there's only room for one great person in this WWE. Well, he actually didn't say that, but that he's going to defend that title there, and I think personally that yes, he will defend the title at Royal Rumble in that main event. Seems like a very, very built up match really already in the last Raw and this Raw that I've seen already. Definitely built up strong. He's got a nice face character. At this time, he was probably the most popular person on WWE. You can tell from the crowd really, and he just shares his opinions on Razor Ramon about why would Razor Ramon attack his 78-year-old father if he's Stu Hart, and he's just defending his family and being a good family person there. And of course he plays it off real well He's a great heel. He's a great face, and yeah, the best there was, the best there is, and the best there ever will be. Wow, what a legend! In our third match, and the final match of the night, I think it was between Ric Flair and Tito Santana, and now at the time called El Matador. They'd both be competing in the Royal Rumble, I'm pretty sure. So it was an exciting little match there. Just like sort of previewing the Royal Rumble for us. We also got to see some more people who'll be in the Royal Rumble, featuring like Randy Savage would also be there. It was really interesting. Anyway, back to this. Basically, it was Ric Flair versus El Matador, and yeah, we had a bit of. I think El Matador was even a bit more dominant in this match than Ric Flair. Ric Flair was sort of staying back, getting those chops, being a bit heelish. And what happened was no one actually won this match, but anyway, so somehow Ric Flair was on the outside, and guess what? Mr. Perfect comes in from the outside, attacks him, and the match gets, the bell gets rung. Mr. Perfect doesn't care. He just they continue to brawl outside the ring and out into the back, and that was just really sort of cements their feud there really. Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect, who was enormously kind of facing this situation. Of course, you got Ric Flair, who's going to be much more heelish, and that sets up a match next week at Raw, where basically Ric Flair gets really angry and says, there's only room for one of us in the WWE, and he says, because he's just being interviewed after this, of course, and he says, this will be a match next week on Raw between me and Mr. Perfect, and whoever loses leaves the WWE. So it's a loser leaves the WWE match next week, which is a very big announcement. I saw the synopsis for this episode and I said, oh my god, a very big announcement. And it was, yes. That's a very major announcement. And who's going to come out on top next week on Raw? We're going to have to find out. But again, my opinion is that there's going to be some way for that match to finish without someone leaving. Of course they're not going to get one of these two big guys to leave. I mean, they're very important in WWE, and I don't know. Yeah, I think they might be both be at Royal Rumble. I'm not sure about that one. I know that Ric Flair will be. Okay, so that was sort of what happened. Then Randy Savage, of course, went out looking for the Repo Man. The Repo Man was making like a video. Who was on the video feed to the commentators in the ring, and he was just saying stuff. He stole Randy's hat, That set up a match between the Repo Man and Randy Savage next week, which obviously Randy Savage hopefully will win, or whatever heelish tactic the Repo Man has. We can hope that Randy Savage overcomes that, because Randy Savage, he's made to look strong, and hopefully that's what will happen. He sort of steals one of the commentators' cars, and then that's where the show finishes off. Other bits in the show that I didn't really mention on was that Doink was featured a bit, and he didn't get a match, of course, but he was the very heelish guy. We showed a replay of WWE Superstars, and he basically what does he do? Oh yeah, he basically attacks a superstar with his he attacks Crush, one of the entrants who was going to be in the Royal Rumble, with a foot or leg or arm or something, an arm, like a mannequin arm, and then Crush is basically out now for the Royal Rumble, so he won't be in that. So we might have Doink as an entrant in the Royal Rumble. That's going to be a very exciting one. And yeah, all the opinions on the Royal Rumble will sort of be talked about in that Royal Rumble video. I sort of talked about some of the matches that will be on that show, and it's going to be an exciting one, really. One of my favourite pay-per-views of the year, and it's 1993. I haven't seen this one before, so it's going to be cool. Ric Flair was won the famous one beforehand, 1992, where he came in at number 3 or number 2 or something, and won from that position. So he's going in strong, and he's in that feud with, of course, Mr. Perfect. That could come into it. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, overall it was a pretty good Raw and quite entertaining. The whole Repo Man and Randy Savage gimmick wasn't very believable. Repo Man isn't a great actor, but I'm glad that they didn't go with all comedy on this episode of Raw. There wasn't much of that. But great first match. But of course there was I think a bit more story in this one, so I give it a B plus rather than the B minus of last week's. So yeah, I really quite enjoyed it, and it was nice and brief and short. 45 minutes long is very short. Like, it's not even an hour long. It's 45 minutes with like breaks and that I don't have to watch, which is great. Don't have to watch those breaks, and 45 minutes is a great length. So you can just watch an episode and enjoy it, and you get 3 matches. I mean, they're quite short, but some you get really good quality matches, and some of them are, and it just sort of raw. They're beginning to show you what's happening in other shows, which is quite handy, and so I really enjoy that. Okay, guys, so yeah, I give it a B+, and excited for Royal Rumble. My predictions, of course, being that Bret Hart will defend his title at Royal Rumble as the WWE Championship. Shawn Michaels will win as the heel in that feud with Marty Jannetty and defend his Intercontinental Championship, and Sherry will take his side. Sensational Sherry. Do we have any other matches announced? I'm not sure, but again, the other matches I talked about for next week on Raw, we got sort of 2 matches announced, really, I think. But that's a great lineup already to see. We're beginning to know what's going on next week on Raw, so you can prepare for it. And yeah, it's going to be fun. Randy Savage in ring next week. Wow. Okay, thank you guys for watching. So make sure to subscribe, like, comment below, favorite, and of course subscribe, as I just said, on my channel. And you can comment on any thing that I discuss in this video, your opinion on anything, and yeah, whatever you will think of this episode. And of course, you can just comment that all below. Do everything you can to support me on my YouTube channel, and any criticism or anything you want me to review, do that as well. And thank you guys so much. See you next time.